Good morning, Spartans. This is part 4, Introduction to Basic HTML and CSS. Okay, you might see a couple of changes from the third video, and I'm going to explain what I did. So I created this little framing margin here. This yellow area is my wrapper. And so here's how you do it. Come into your CSS, and I'll start with a footer. That's at the bottom, as you know. You're going to want to add, you're going to want to take off 60 pixels. Let me see. So the wrapper is, yeah, so you notice the wrapper is 960 with a margin auto. Okay, you already have that. Now with the header, all you're going to do is take 60 off and add that margin auto. Okay, so take 60 pixels off the header, the nav bar, put it at 900, and don't forget to add the margin auto. That's going to keep it centered. Okay, do it with the content and do it with the footer. Margin auto with 900. Okay? Alright, so in this video, we're going to continue and we're going to add our navigation buttons. Okay? So we're going to target the nav bar and then specifically target the unordered list. Okay? And we're going to do that with a list style. Let me get my cursor up here. A list style that has a value of none. Let's see what that does. So save it and refresh. So that'll just get rid of the style, the list style being those bullets. Okay? Okay? Additionally, we will move it off of the margin, off the left side, so margin left, and we will go in 10 pixels from the left. Save it, and you notice 10 pixels off the left edge. I hope that bell wasn't too loud. Alright. After the list style, or after the margin, we're going to give it some padding of 5 pixels. And save it. Let's see what that does. Okay, you notice it just sort of gives it some spacing. So far, so good. Alright, now so that's the unordered list. That's the entire list. But now, let's do # navbar, and this time we're going to target the individual list items. So that's why we have a navbar li. Okay? So with that, we're going to do a float left, okay, a width of 100 pixels, a height of 30 pixels. Okay, so these are the individual boxes that will surround our list items, such as home, portfolio, so on and so forth. We're going to give it a line height, that's the actual word within that space, the same amount as the height itself. Doing that will center the area. And then background color, I'm going to make my buttons black. You choose whatever color you want. And text align will be centered. Okay, so that's the first list items. Everything's going to be centered, actually. Okay. Now I want some rounded corners. This is optional, but it's kind of a button look to it, and we're going to give it 5 pixels. So I'm going to save all this. Command S or Control S in your case, and there it is. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, let's continue. So we got a nav bar list. Now I'm going to target the list items that are underneath portfolio. So let's look at this. So we've got the list and then the unordered list under this one list item, because there's only one unordered list under one list item, and it happens to be the portfolio. But what's under the portfolio? The 3 list items, right? Photoshop, Illustrator, and Flash. Okay, so that's going to be all of these properties here. And I'll just do gray because it's easy. You might want to search for a more customized color with your hex colors. This saves me time. Width, and I'm going to shorten it up. 85 pixels, and I'm going to text align this one to the left, so just those 3 subpages will be aligned to the left. You notice these originally were all centered, so let's take a look at this. You see what happened? So just the list items were flushed to the left. Okay? Alright, let's move on. Looks good. Okay, so we're going to write a new rule now. And let's see, we're going to now direct our attention to the, let me scroll up here. This one is going to be to the link items. Okay? They're all linking, so that's what A is the anchor tag that gives us a link. And let's see. So what are we going to do here? We need to remove the text decoration, which is the underline, and set it to none. So let's see what happens. There you go. Looks good. Okay. From there, let's give it some padding of 5 pixels. Save it. And just pushes it slightly off. Okay. And let's see. Now let's see what color yellow will do for me. Save it. So yellow for the text matches my header yellow. You might consider doing something similar. Whatever your header looks like, maybe make the buttons consistent with that. Okay. Okay, let's move on. And this time we will target the unordered list only. Okay? And that unordered list is only under that one list item, which is the portfolio. We're going to set the visibility, if I could spell it right, visibility, to hidden. Because really we don't want those list items to show up. Notice that? We only want them to show up as we hover over it. And so that's our next step. Okay? So we're going to do some hovering. So do another nav bar. And we're going to do list hover. So when we hit that list item, the portfolio in other words, let's see. We're going to actually, let's get list item, hover, yes, and then background color red, and you'll see if you want that color or not. Let's check it out. Let's refresh, and so those black buttons turn red as you hover. Okay, and now we want on the hover over that list item, I'm sorry, under the unordered list item, we want the visibility to come back. So we're going to make it visible. Save and refresh. And there you go. Pretty cool, huh? That's pretty much the end of this tutorial, because this fourth video was supposed to show us how to create that navigational area. Okay, and that's it. So when I click on these, it's going to go to my other pages. Now, obviously, we have to design those other pages. Okay, the only extra thing I added was this margin left, 5 pixels. You can see a little spacing in between. Okay. Maybe if I do 15 pixels, let's see if we notice a difference here. So if I refresh, so it just spaces it out a little bit. Might look better there. Maybe even a margin top. Now if I do a margin top, that might force this bottom list to go too far down. So let's maybe try that. Margin top. Let's try 10 pixels. Save. And there it is. Pushes it off the side there. Yeah, and so that's one I would probably remove. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take that off. Save it. And then pretty good. Okay, so that's it. I hope it helps, and get those good customized colors, and your page is going to start looking pretty professional. Alright, come back for video number 5.